Hey Nate, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hypothetically speaking, if I had a gun pointed at my head and had to get rich from investing to save mine and my grandma's life in the next 10 minutes, what should I do?
Oh my God, 10 minutes?
Don't do this to me.
Dude, I don't know.
Who's that? Whose hand is that, man?
Good question, Jack. This is a hitman who's gonna execute me and my grandma in 10 minutes if I can't figure out how to get rich by the end of this call. I asked a bunch of YouTube millionaires the shortcut to getting rich from investing, and this is the video I wish I saw when I was first starting investing, since you're gonna waste years of your life if you don't know things like this. So if you were to start over with $100, what would you do to make the most amount of money possible?
Buy a bunch of books that teach you about financial literacy, how to build businesses. I would do $100 million offers by Alex Hormozi, for sure. Atomic Habits, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, probably.
Buying courses or anything to just up the skills that I would need to make money. So whether that's marketing, sales, one of those things.
Well, I learned a skill, started a service-based business offering videography to different clients, and then it helped me build up my initial small amount of money
so that they can make more money to invest later.
But then something really interesting happened. Even though they all had different stories, they were basically talking about the same three things. And the first point seems to be a specific millionaire formula that they all followed. Do you keep a certain portfolio allocation for yourself, like 50% stocks, 40% real estate, 10% like crypto or something like that?
I don't have it down to a science on that, to specific numbers.
I had to have a look at that before we came on.
I think my ideal allocation is like
60% is in index funds.
60% index funds,
35% in index funds,
70% in stocks.
60% stocks,
30% individual stocks, like Apple,
25 is in individual stocks.
20% in individual stocks,
and then 10% speculative, like Bitcoin and some NFTs.
About 5% in crypto.
10% in crypto.
10% crypto,
5% in crypto,
And then 20% in real estate. And it's just one property.
10% at the moment is in cash.
the biggest amount, 40% in cash.
a good portion of my portfolio is cash right now because
I'm just waiting on maybe buying a property or also putting that money into other business ventures.
and then other miscellaneous investments like
Like angel investments.
Angel investing.
angel investing, where yes, it's more risky, but I can afford a bigger allocation of the money to invest risky.
Also business investments.
But I will say that anytime that any specific asset gets over 35%, I will likely trim it down, sell some of it off, and make sure that I'm diversified.
But it's more than just a millionaire formula that made them rich. It's also the mindset behind it, which 99% of people miss. What's the fattest L you've ever taken?
Here we go again.
And what could other people earn?
Palantir Technologies. I think I'm down like $35,000 on it. But
I got wiped out on Luna this year. I lost 6 figures in it.
I would say not aggressively investing in myself sooner.
Penny stocks again. I probably lost about 35,000.
And it was across the world on a hard wallet, and I didn't have access to it as it was dumping. I had friends who lost millions in Luna, and they were all in on it, and I feel terrible for them. And the thing to learn from that is make sure that you
Diversifying what you're doing.
diversify.
I haven't sold it yet. I'm just kind of holding because I really like Palantir still as a company, and their financials are solid and they have a lot of cash on their balance sheets. My time horizon with Palantir was going to be like 10 to 20 years. I don't really mind that it's taking that big of an L.
Even though I lost 6 figures in it, it was still not too bad because I took out my cost basis.
Losing $100,000 on one bad investment and just being able to bounce back from it sounds insane, but it's because of their mindset. And this mindset isn't simply diversification, it's understanding their own risk tolerances. But don't think losing $100,000 makes them carefree. They're still extremely cautious, just in a very different way. $100,000 or a girlfriend for 5 years, but only 5 years.
What kind of value would I derive out of having a girlfriend? Right?
But it gets worse. Which brings us to the second lesson that crushed Jack. What's the fattest L you've ever taken? And what could other people earn?
I lost a lot of money on Neo and Palantir. I lost like copious amounts on Palantir. I would say those are like my biggest L's. Yeah.
Are you sure that's your like biggest loss though? Because Nate O'Brien said you lost a stupid amount of money on something else recently. What could you tell us on that?
What do you mean by that?
It was expensive. I shouldn't even disclose. It's just gonna be embarrassing.
This is really embarrassing, to be honest. Probably Robinhood. I think I bought a little bit, and then I was at the gym with Graham, and I saw Graham on his phone, and he was kind of like hiding it from me like this. And I looked over his shoulder and saw that he was buying a bunch of Robinhood. And then I was like, oh, Graham's buying Robinhood. I may as well. He saw me and he's like, no, Jack, don't do it, man. It's going to plummet. Don't buy Robinhood, please. And he literally offered to pay me to not buy Robinhood. And I said, no. My Robinhood portfolio value went from, 75 grand to 5 grand. And Graham now blames Robinhood's, poor performance on the fact that I bought it.
And this might seem like a super embarrassing story from Jack, but he's not alone. And in fact, most beginners actually do this same exact thing.
What is like by far the worst investing mistake you see people make?
Yeah, make sure you understand what you're investing in.
Just taking advice from anyone, like hot stock tips. For example, reading the Motley Fool article. It happens with a lot of beginner investors is that they read an article or they watch a YouTuber who tells them 3 stocks to buy.
I'm going to get all my money and put all of it into that one thing. And then it goes plop. And this can happen.
They didn't do their own research.
Do your fundamental analysis and don't necessarily follow the herd.
And you're probably starting to see a pattern, but this goes beyond just stock picks. If there was one investment platform to rule them all, what are you picking and why?
Fidelity,
Public.com.
I think it's better than fintech companies.
because they're the most capitalized.
They have a lot of great programs and good customer support as well.
And not only are they cautious about which stocks to pick, which investment platforms to use, but also the type of advice to take in general.
Should you spend money on a course for investing? And if so, do you have like a course that you could recommend or at least say is better than the others?
I personally am a little bit more wary about courses.
I've never spent $1 on a course in my life.
Why do you need to? All this information that people need is available free online.
The library is free.
There is no extra. There is no secret.
But if you want to learn a tangible skill like videography, then I did buy a course for that. So it depends on what you want to learn.
And their level of caution and trust, combined with the third point, makes it really easy to see what separates them from average investors.
But first, I forgot to mention that everyone I called is a millionaire, except for one imposter among us.
Like, no,
Would it be okay if we disclose that you aren't a millionaire? Or we could also go the route of just like pretending you are a millionaire, if you're cool with that.
I would prefer to like lie and act as I am a millionaire.
I actually got a guy on Wall Street that can sniff out fake millionaires. What would you say to him to convince him that you're the real deal?
That I'm, a millionaire? I would just be like, yeah, I hit the millionaire mark maybe like last year, I think, in June.
Yeah, that's BS.
I mean, oh, sorry, I think it's cutting out.
Oh,
That was a little sus, Jack. Back to the final and most important lesson.
S&P 500 or a high conviction stock?
Index funds, S&P 500.
S&P 500.
Index fund.
S&P 500 without a doubt.
I definitely like my high conviction stocks, as you might
Okay,
know.
and where do you get your insider info?
I think it's insider trading. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
This also goes back to time.
You can't time the market, but you can gradually buy into the whole market, and that's got to be a better long-term play than high-risk stocks where you can lose everything.
All the power to you to do the research on individual high conviction stocks, but for me, I think right now in my time in life,
So I'd rather put it into one of the businesses that I'm running versus a stock that I don't have much control over.
There's such thing as high conviction, but not for me, man. I don't think I'm physically capable of having high conviction on something anymore.
I get a lot of it from stock screeners. So I use something called FinViz, and you can sort by so many different metrics there. So I create a thesis, and then I find the companies through the filter. For example, I was just looking at, I was sorting it by stocks that were down 50% year to date, but still have positive earnings growth this year.
And almost everyone agreed that the S&P 500 is the right investment, but that's not the last lesson, because there's actually something that they haven't told you.
What was your biggest win? And did it change your investment strategy?
Probably pre-dot-com bubble, and that was over 100K in a few weeks from one particular company.
It would have been Dogecoin. I turned $100 into, at its peak, 17,000, and I exited for, I think it was like nearly 14,000.
That's great news, considering I have to get rich by the end of this call or else me and my grandma get it. But grandma isn't safe just yet.
So how did that change your investment strategy? Did it make you YOLO a lot more?
It did make me YOLO a lot more, and then I lost a lot more than 13,500 because I was YOLOing. So now I've stopped YOLO.
GameStop and To be honest, I wish I didn't. I did think it made me more speculative. And so all of a sudden last year I was buying a lot more speculative assets, such as an NFT or something like that. Like even for me, if I took out all of my impulse purchases or my impulse investments and I had just put that all into just long-term investments, I wonder how I would be doing. You know what I mean?
And now you know the reason why index funds truly win over everything. And these guys might be millionaires, but they didn't start off that way. They're not perfect, and they've all had their fair share of gambling, losing a bunch of money, and making tons of mistakes along the way. But that didn't stop them from succeeding, and it shouldn't stop you either, especially since you can learn from their biggest mistakes and their biggest wins, which wasn't just the S&P 500.
My biggest win is
From being in business and having my own business and
reading the book Who Not How and learning to build a team and start delegating stuff. So investing in team members. The first team member that I brought on, which was like a video editor, saved me a ton of time. Later on, it's just seeing what other stuff can you outsource. So researchers / script writers, thumbnail designers, because again, back to the time, by having people who can do stuff effectively and efficiently, that'll free up your time to focus on other stuff.
And final tip to beginners who want to start investing, like after watching this video, if they could just get one thing right, what would that be?
If you have all your bases covered in the sense that you have an emergency fund set up,
open up a tax advantaged account, be it an ISA in the UK or a Roth IRA in the USA, start an index fund within that.
however,
Have some patience on everything and don't try to become a millionaire overnight.
You have to understand that you are not an expert.
Even if you're making like 10% or 20% in a year, that's really great. You're going to learn a lot through the process, but don't try to rush it.
Because it's easy to get one win and to start thinking that you are the best investor to ever live because the S&P gets 10% annually and maybe you got 10% on one trade. That does not make you an amazing investor. And I think that you should listen to the people that have been doing it for a very long time and have a clean and respectable track record.
Be a robot and you will eventually make money.
You can't go wrong. How about that?
The truth is you can't get rich from investing today, since you have to think long-term about everything, the investments, education, business, and side hustles. Wait, if I can't get rich right now, then...
Someone's going to have to pull that bullet and it's good night, sweetheart.
На последние деньги наняла киллера, чтобы он выбил из этих финансовых умников, как выгодно вложить в мою пенсию.